Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. And today I want to rant about Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved the card game as a kid. I was actually undefeated as a duelist. Might have broken some rules here or there, but we just didn't always understand the rules. It wasn't always on purpose, but I really liked the card game. I had a lot of fun collecting cards, trading with my friends in the playground. I really enjoyed the card game, and I loved the anime as well. I really loved the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. It was so much fun to watch. And so I wanted to get back into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, and as of the last year or so, I've been watching some creators like DotoDoya, Seereax, Rhymestyle do Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, and I've really enjoyed it. But I have noticed that there is a huge power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's not surprising. Over time, most card games have to evolve and get more powerful cards, otherwise the game becomes stale and less interesting. But there are so many freaking mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, it is almost impossible to get into it from an outside perspective. If you don't really know what's going on, even after watching a couple of years of content and watching the best decks and seeing the styles and the strategies for play, it is almost impossible to get into this game because there's just so much going on. I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on my phone lately. I've been really enjoying it, and I've also really been hating it for a couple big reasons. I've really been enjoying it because it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really fun to go through and pick out some of my favorite cards. I built a fun Blue Eyes deck. I got some help online. I built something that's fairly competent. I can win some duels, and when it starts moving, it's really fun. But of course, the Blue Eyes deck is not going to be anywhere near as good as stuff that's actually current in the meta. And my biggest problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is that you have the casual and you have the ranked modes, and it doesn't matter where you jump on, you're going to get somebody that's ready to just beat you into the dirt. They're going to pull out Yubel and destroy you. They're going to pull out some deck that you've never heard of, that you don't understand what the cards are doing. You'll utilize some hand traps, you'll burn things when you're not supposed to, and then you get run over because you can't summon enough cards at the same to keep up with other people. And it's just so frustrating because there's so many cards now, so many different sets, so many different series in the anime where they use the XYZ summoning and synchro summoning and all these other crazy mechanics that it's just so hard to catch up. You don't feel like you have the chance to. I even went through the tutorials to learn about synchro summoning so I could really get a hands-on, because that's the best way I learn. I like watching, but I also like doing it and getting the feel for it, and then I can figure it out. So I know how to XYZ summon. I know how to do synchro summoning. I participated in the XYZ Cup and had a fun time. I didn't get super far, but I did fairly well as far as I can see. I really still don't understand pendulums. No matter how many times I went through the tutorials on it, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why they can do what they do. I don't just understand how they work in general. I don't know how to build a deck like that. So it's really difficult to try and counter any of the other decks that you play against because I barely know what's going on in the first place. Like I said, I'm playing some stuff like Blue Eyes. I built a Dark Magician deck. Nothing too serious. I'm not trying to be the best duelist out there, primarily because I don't have just money to blow on buying a bunch of card packs or crafting specific cards and building a deck off of that. And that's the biggest problem, is that the barrier of entry is very high. If you're not just getting lucky with packs, or you don't really know how to build a deck that you want to do and you don't know how it works, you're just going to be at a huge disadvantage for forever, really. I've gotten into the Master Duel for a few months now. I've been really enjoying it. I've been getting into it and learning how cards do, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm making a whole lot of progress because I'm not being able to build any of these meta decks that other people play. So if I get up against Yubel, for instance, I have very little options. I actually finally beat a Yubel with my Blue Eyes deck that I built. I utilized the Bestials and branded this is one of the branded traps that was able to counteract some stuff. I just got lucky. I got some stuff cooking. I had a couple strategies in mind and I figured it out and I beat the player. I'm sure they weren't doing as well as they could have, and I definitely don't have the best deck to maximize around Blue Eyes, but I was able to beat them. So I'm having a lot of fun in that regard, but every time I come up against some freaking deck, it's the mascot with the blue hair and the big purple tail. As soon as I see that mascot, I know I'm clicking first every single time if I get that coin flip, because I'm not going to let them go first. Because at some point, if you get one card in your hand, some decks have one card combos that you can do all sorts of craziness, play a bunch of solitaire, and suddenly you have 6 monsters on the board, and you have like 5 negates, and there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can play that will get over this board. And that's my biggest critique with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just really boring when you come up against a deck that takes 5-6 minutes to set up their board on their first turn, and then if you have no response at any point, you're probably cooked. And then even if you do, if you've got Ash Blossom in hand, like a nice hand trap, or you've got Max C to draw a bunch of cards, you might just be screwed anyway if they just have the right amount of combo pieces. They might have 2 different game plans, they got 2 pieces in their hand, and they can just do whatever they want. And I don't like that. I don't like being able to just special summon as many cards as you want, as long as I meet the requirements. Because if you build your deck around those requirements, like, oh, I can't special summon anything unless it's a fiend for the rest of the turn, and all your deck is fiends, well, of course you're going to be able to summon a giant board, and then you're going to XYZ, you're going to link summon, you're going to synchro summon, whatever you need to do, and suddenly you've got this unbreakable board. It's just really unfortunate that modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Feels so boring, or so like really, it goes really fast. Like it takes a long time to set up, but then I've got one more turn. If I don't do anything, I just lose. So we're either going like crazy setup with tons of time, and then the game's over in 2 turns, or you get a little bit back and forth, and then someone gets the unbreakable board and you lose. I really miss the times, and I really like watching the content. Again, this is Rhymestyle, specifically Seereax, DotoDoya doing GOAT format stuff. I love watching classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's way more fun to see. It's way more fun to see a lot of back and forth, a lot more like layered strategy. You're not just like, well, I've got 1 card, so here we go. I've got 5 monsters on the board now because I searched 17 things. I did a bunch of nonsense, and now I've got all this on my board. I really like the back and forth. I like the strategy that goes into it. Again, feels less like solitaire, like I'm just pulling cards out of my deck because I can. It's more like, hopefully we get the heart of the cards here. Boom, I got my Harpy's Feather Duster. I wipe your back row. Now I've got something cooking here. I just really miss the old style, and I really wish that Master Duel would implement some older formats, or just give us more modes, because that would be way more fun for me. I would really enjoy some older stuff so I can recapture my youth. If I go into Master Duel ranked or casual though right now and build like a really basic GOAT format deck, I'm going to get screwed by everybody. Unless I get a brand new player, I am absolutely cooked. And there's just no in between. And I wish we had some kind of distinction between the two. So I just wanted to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I love it, and I really hate it. If I get up against certain decks, it's just not fun. I just want to leave. And then if I get against like semi-competent people, I can have a good back and forth. It's just frustrating. So let me know in the comments down below if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what decks you play. If you play Yubel, I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. I would really love to hear if you play the game. I really like it. I really like Yu-Gi-Oh! I would like to do some more stuff with it in the future. I just need to keep figuring it out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.